A hummingbird in flight navigates its physical environment at a staggering 385 body lengths per second. To put that biological feat into perspective, a peak human-engineered F-15 fighter jet tops out at 45 body lengths per second. The bird is moving nearly 10 times faster. Navigating at this velocity requires massive neural synchronization. Millions of neurons across the brain must communicate and fire in sub-millisecond windows to prevent collision and maintain hover. Classical electrochemical signaling maxes out at speeds too slow to manage this temporal puzzle. The physics of the organism suggest a mechanism that moves beyond our current biological understanding. This cross-section highlights the physical hardware driving that system. The hummingbird's brain accounts for 4.2% of its total body weight, twice the cerebral proportion found in humans. Nearly this entire massive cerebral real estate is fiercely dedicated to processing complex visual data in a continuous, high-speed present. Current biophysical models characterize the myelin sheath as a quantum optical device designed to solve this temporal puzzle. Survival at these speeds suggests a leak beyond classical signaling, requiring a mechanism capable of orchestrating hyperexistence through non-local correlation. We trace this requirement back to a specific midbrain nucleus called the lentiformis mesencephaly, or LM. In most tetrapods, the LM is wired with a bias. It detects threats approaching from behind. The hummingbird has discarded that Newtonian historical bias. Its hypertrophied LM nucleus is optimized strictly for instantaneous visual processing. This dual vector field map illustrates the evolutionary leap. The left tetrapod map shows a rear directional bias. The right hummingbird map is tuned for velocity across a 360-degree spectrum. Processing motion equally across all axes simultaneously eliminates blind spots. This architecture locks the bird into a multi-directional present. Managing that constant, spherical influx of data demands an extreme level of internal signal synchronization. Vertebrates achieve rapid neural transmission through saltatory conduction. Mapping a myelinated axon reveals distinct functional domains: node of Ranvier, paranode, juxtaparanode, and internode. Rapid depolarization occurs because voltage-gated sodium channels are stabilized at unmyelinated gaps. Directly adjacent, Kv1 potassium channels manage repolarization, resetting the signal. Saltatory conduction is highly efficient, yet it still relies on linear electrical travel. For a brain navigating at 385 body lengths per second, that travel time remains a temporal bottleneck. The oligodendrocyte serves as the central nervous system's active temporal manager. A single oligodendrocyte extends branches connecting active 50 distinct parallel axons. Through myelin plasticity, the cell releases signals to dynamically adjust the thickness of these sheaths. It executes these modifications within a 10 to 40 millisecond window, selectively altering conduction delays. By physically changing the insulation, the oligodendrocyte forces lagging signals to speed up. It transforms passive white matter into an adaptive timing circuit that synchronizes data arrival. This leads to a hypothesis at the edge of modern biophysics. Under highly specific physical conditions, the myelin sheath acts as a quantum optical microcavity. For the lipid bilayer to trigger a quantum state, the myelin must measure between 0.8 and 1.1 micrometers thick. Within those dimensions, cascade radiation occurs. The vibrational spectrum of carbon-hydrogen bonds generates pairs of entangled biphotons. These create non-local correlation, allowing distant neural nodes to sync instantly, independent of physical distance. By utilizing quantum correlation, the hummingbird's brain bypasses the speed limits of linear electrical travel, achieving instantaneous internal coordination. Utilizing this speed requires exact spatial and temporal mapping. A massive hippocampal formation gives the bird the spatial control required to suspend itself mid-air. Sustaining this brain requires massive caloric intake, increasingly fueled by artificial liquid nectar reservoirs. Intense competition at these feeders has exerted extreme evolutionary pressure. In just 10 generations, we can measure distinct morphological changes, specifically the development of elongated beaks. The bird is rapidly optimizing its caloric intake tools to sustain the energy demands of its neural processor. This high-speed processing forces a severe behavioral trade-off in the wild. The bird relies on non-spectral UV-positive visual cues to rapidly locate and lock onto food sources. This thermal overlay maps the resulting paradox. In a 35-degree environment, the optimal path to detect UV cues leads directly into lethal sunlight. The bird bypasses thermal refuges, prioritizing visual data processing over critical thermal safety to feed the engine. This is a Gödelian evolutionary trap. The exact adaptation guaranteeing the animal's survival today ensures its vulnerability tomorrow as global temperatures rise. Instantaneous quantum processing is the biological threshold required for the bird's survival, yet this same optimization tethers the organism to systemic collapse under changing conditions.